Today we are going to be spending time working on adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So really quick, I'm going to run you through strategies for adding your mixed numbers, adding or subtracting your mixed numbers, show you the steps to solve the problem. So with mixed numbers, when you get them in an addition problem, your first step is always going to be to add the fractions first. And the reason why you want to add your fractions first is because sometimes when you add your fractions, you're going to have to regroup them, meaning this. In this problem, I have 3/4 plus 2/4. When I add them, I get 5/4. Remember that when we started adding fractions, we talked about how once you finish a problem where you're adding fractions, there's two things you have to check for. You have to check to see whether or not your fraction can be simplified. And then the second step is to make sure that your fraction is not an improper fraction. If it's an improper fraction, remember that you have to take it, you have to turn it into a mixed number. So since I have 5/4, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to change that into a mixed number. So 4 goes into 5 one time, there's 1 left over, and I bring my denominator over. So my mixed number ends up being 1 and 1/4. Once I have that mixed number, then I can go ahead and I can bring down my whole numbers and I can add them. And how I'm going to add them is I'm going to do my whole numbers first. So I have a 1, a 7, and a 6. So 1 plus 7 is 8, plus 6 is 14 for my sum. And then I have 1/4, and I'm just going to slide the 1/4 over. So my final answer for this is 14 and 1/4. Okay, so that's addition. For subtraction, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start off with subtracting our fractions. So we're going to go 2/3 minus 1/3. Okay, and this is actually an easier problem, an easier subtraction problem. I'm going to show you a harder one in a second. So notice this problem doesn't involve any regrouping. I can just go 2 minus 1 is 1. I can bring my 3 over. I have 1/3. And now I can do my whole numbers. 8 minus 6 is 2. I'm going to slide my 1/3 down. And so 8 and 2/3 minus 6 and 1/3 is 2 and 1/3. Okay? All right, so here's where subtracting fractions gets a little bit tricky. So let's say I have 7 and 1/4. And then I subtract 5 and 3/4, okay? Remember, I start with my fraction. So if I take 1/4 and I subtract 3/4, I can't do that. I can't take away 3/4 from 1/4. So this is where subtracting gets a little bit tricky. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to regroup my fraction. So I'm going to come up here to the 7, I'm going to cross it off, and I'm going to put a 6. So this is a lot like regrouping with whole number subtraction, where you have to go next door, excuse me, you borrow a whole from the next door, so you cross it off, you put your 6. Then what you do down here is, since the fraction whole is 4, you're going to add the denominator to the numerator. So if I had a 1, I add the 4 to it, now I have a 5. So now I have 5/4 minus 3/4. I get 2/4, okay? And again, with fractions, when we finish a problem, subtraction's the same way as addition. We have to look at it, we have to think to ourselves, do we simplify? Can we simplify? And then second, do we have an improper fraction? If so, we have to change it. So in this case, I have 2/4. I can change that to 1/2. Now I can work out my whole numbers. I have 6 minus 5 is 1. And then I just slide the 1/2 down. So my final answer is 1 and 1/2. All right. If you guys notice next to your computer, you have a sticky note. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give you 2 problems to work out. I'm going to give you an adding mixed numbers problem, and I'm going to give you a subtracting mixed numbers problem. I want you to use your sticky notes, work them out, bring over your sticky note to me, and I'll check it out. If you want to use 2 sticky notes, one for the addition, one for the subtraction, that would be awesome. It'll give you lots of space to write and lots of space to work out your problems. So here's my addition problem. I'm gonna go 8 7/9 plus 6 5/9. So that's my addition problem. My subtraction problem is gonna be 6 1/6 minus 5 3/6. Okay? So again, work out both problems, put them on a sticky note, make sure that you're following the same steps that I just followed. If you're a little bit lost, you can rewind the video, go back and watch it again.